I do really quite strongly believe that this house could act as almost like a blueprint for our future projects, but also hopefully inspire other designers and architects, but also how could it really adapt to the future needs of architecture being developed in this country.
Most of the houses in London are quite inaccessible, and I use a wheelchair, so being able to get in and out of the house and around the house is quite important.
That inspired the architectural design in terms of its openness, in terms of how we position structures and columns and spacing of openings and doors, as well as how the feeling of the space doesn't become one dictated by functionality.
We wanted our living space to be very open, but there were also a lot of themes that we wanted. So we wanted it to be bright, light and airy.
The other brief was a sort of growing family. We needed to have enough bedrooms, but also that each bedroom had this access to outdoor space.
When we first saw this plot of land, it was like this overgrown, disused, I don't even know how you describe it, it was just this wasteland basically.
The space was obviously being used for things that wasn't great for the community.
But extremely exciting for a new house, and it was only accessible through this kind of very narrow lane. So the project was kind of thinking about how do you access this house and how to design a new house on a plot of land with planning permission there already.
We couldn't build up like you normally would, you had to build down in order to get the space. There was clearly a lot of challenges around how do you get light into the basement.
Somebody called it like a negative architecture, where you're carving spaces out of the existing site.
It did give us this opportunity to build in a much more horizontal way.
Early on, we kind of experimented with a number of very interesting ideas, and something we've not done before is this hybrid structure, stone slabs sandwiched between glulam beams. They're not fixed, they're just sort of clumped between the glulam beams. And then there's a perimeter glulam beam that's holding all of this structure in place, which in turn resting on a few but really crucial structural oak columns to create this kind of lightweight open pavilion on the ground floor.
I think that is a very unique part of the home and feels very different, but it really works very well from the perspective of keeping the home really cool in the summer and warm in the winter.
The thing I really love about the materials that we've selected is mainly that they're just all on show.
It's as lightweight an architecture as we've ever made. The architecture looks simple, but actually very complex in how it's put together. This idea of simple things made well is really important for us. And, you know, we believe very much that the structure itself really is the architecture.
When people look at the house, they don't see where the accessibility is. And obviously there's the wide corridors and lots of space, but you'll notice where all the windows open, it's completely smooth to get from indoors to outdoors. There's no barrier there. And so there's all of these very small things that are around the house that just give you so much freedom.
But not in a way that's like overtly accessible, right? It's not like there's just grab rails everywhere and things like that. You know, it just feels like a more pleasant place to be, but it also makes it much easier to live in a wheelchair. And so that's something that for me personally is very, very special. One of the things that really attracted us to this plot of land was that it felt like a walled garden, like this secret garden that was hidden away. And we were really excited about that idea of building a house into a garden.
It's very important for their inspiration from the Japanese architecture that we try to achieve this ephemeral quality of the house being open, connected to the elements and outdoor spaces.
I think we ended up with something that, you know, has this feeling of Japan, but is actually doesn't look anything like it, right? Even the choice of materials with things like stone, like you'd never really use that in Japan. You've always got that view into nature.
You can always see a tree or always see a plant, always see outside. And obviously that's the name of the house, Niwa House, is garden house. And so yeah, we've really been able to create that feeling in almost every room that we have.
And when the house was finished, one of the things that they said was that it really felt like a journey that we walked through together. And to sort of see them live here and really enjoy and embrace it has been phenomenal. They wrote to us a really lovely email to say they're just sitting in the Engawa space between garden and inside with all the glazing open, admiring the cherry blossom. And they said that they felt extremely lucky and grateful to be living in this house. And I was just very, very touched with that.
I think it hopefully shows that it's possible to design really accessible spaces that don't compromise on, you know, being really beautiful or really, you know, enjoyable for everyone to use.